"I don't have time for your slow service, old man." The woman snapped her fingers at the elderly waiter. What she didn't realize was that her own daughter would soon teach her a lesson she'd never forget. This happened at a small diner in Chicago on a busy Sunday morning. Behind the counter stood George Miller, 72 years old, hands slightly shaking from arthritis. He'd come out of retirement to help pay for his wife's medical treatments. Still, he greeted every customer with warmth. "Good morning, folks. What can I get for you today?" A woman in designer clothes sat down with her young daughter. "Coffee, black, and make it fast." George nodded politely. "Coming right up, ma'am." He returned moments later, but his trembling hands caused a small drop to spill on the saucer. The woman exploded. "Are you serious right now? Look at this mess. Maybe they should hire people who can actually do their jobs." George's face fell. "I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'll get you a fresh cup." "You should be sorry," she continued loudly. "This is pathetic. How hard is it to pour coffee?" The entire diner went silent. George stood frozen, fighting back tears. Then a small voice spoke up. The woman's 6-year-old daughter tugged at her sleeve. "Mommy, why are you being mean to the grandpa? His hands are just tired." Grandma's hands shake too. "You always tell me to be patient with her." The woman's face went pale. Other customers began to stare. The little girl continued. "You said we should be kind to old people because they worked hard their whole lives." The diner manager, Mr. Thompson, walked over. "Ma'am, I think you owe George an apology. He's been serving this community for 6 months without a single complaint." The woman sat in stunned silence. She looked at her daughter, then at George. I'm sorry," she whispered. George wiped his eyes and smiled gently. "It's all right. We all have hard days." The little girl climbed down from her seat, walked up to George, and hugged his leg. "You're doing a good job, Grandpa." George patted her head softly. "Thank you, sweetheart. You've got a beautiful heart. Sometimes the biggest lessons don't come from books or lectures. They come from the honest words of a child who hasn't learned to look away from what is wrong. If you believe age deserves respect, share this with someone who needs to hear it.